In 1990, they called Cameroon lucky. In 2002, they called Senegal a fluke. In 2022, they called Morocco a surprise. 10 teams, 90 years of being underestimated. This time the world should be scared. The 2026 World Cup is the biggest in history. 48 nations, 3 host countries, 6 continents. And for the first time ever, 10 African teams. Not 5, not 6, 10. 9 qualified through CAF directly. Morocco, Senegal, Algeria, Egypt, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Tunisia, Cape Verde, South Africa. The 10th? DR Congo, who beat Jamaica in an intercontinental playoff to end a 52-year absence from the world stage. Now, the world sees 10 African nations and mostly sees 10 warm-up games for Europe and South America. The world is wrong. But here's the thing about that number. It's not just a number, it represents a continent that has been told repeatedly that it doesn't belong at the top table and has kept showing up anyway. To understand what 2026 means, you have to go back to Qatar, December 2022. Morocco, a nation of 37 million people. Nobody expected them to get out of the group. They beat Belgium. They beat Spain on penalties, after Spain had over 75% possession and nearly 1,000 passes. Then they beat Portugal 1-0, earned a series header. The first African nation in a World Cup semi-final, ever. Not just the first to reach a semi-final. The first from the entire continent of Africa in the history of the World Cup. They lost to France in the semi, 2-0. Then they beat Croatia to finish fourth in the world. And when the tournament ended, the press called it a Cinderella run. Like it was an accident. It wasn't an accident. It was a system. It was a coach. And it was a team that knew, even when nobody else did, that they belonged there. And the man who built that system, Walid Regragui, walked away in March 2026, which is exactly where the story gets interesting. When Regragui resigned, the reaction was predictable. Morocco are finished. They have lost their identity. First senior role for a youth coach. What those reactions missed is what Mohamed Ouahbi already did. Less than a year ago, Ouahbi coached the Morocco under-20 side at the U20 World Cup in Chile. In the final, they played Argentina, 6-time U20 world champions, unbeaten in the tournament. Tournament favorites. Morocco beat them 2-0. The same Argentina that the senior team is about to face in Group J. But we'll come back to that. Ouahbi's Morocco for 2026 keeps the spine intact. Hakimi at right back, 95 caps captain. One of the best attacking fullbacks in world football. Brahim Diaz, Bilal El Khanous, Ayoub El Kabi, Bunu in goal. And their first group game, Brazil. June 13th. MetLife Stadium. Not a warm-up game, a statement. If Morocco are the ones the world is watching, there is a team the world is underestimating even more. Senegal. Sadio Mané is 34 years old. He missed the 2022 World Cup with injury. He came back for AFCON. He's here now for what he has said will be his last World Cup. That matters. Not sentimentally, tactically. A player going into their final major tournament plays like they have nothing to lose. That's dangerous. Senegal's opening game is against France. June 16th. MetLife Stadium. Some of you will know what that means. 2002. Korea and Japan. Senegal's very first World Cup. Opening game. Defending world champions. France. 1-0. Papai Bouba Diop. A goal that still doesn't feel real. That was 24 years ago. Mané wasn't even in the squad. The players who are taking that field on June 16th grew up with that memory. And France know it. Senegal also have Papai Matar Sarr, Nicolas Jackson, Ismaila Sarr. This is not a team playing for survival in Group 1. This is a team that can win Group Y. Then there's Algeria. Algeria are in Group J. Their opening game, Argentina. June 17th, Kansas City. Messi's Argentina. Defending world champions. Algeria are led by Riyad Mahrez. 113 caps. 38 international goals. Still one of the most dangerous wide players in African football. Their coach Vladimir Petkovic has built a squad that is tactically disciplined and knows how to frustrate bigger teams. Now, remember what Ouahbi's U20 team did to Argentina? 2-0. That wasn't just a youth result. That was proof of something. Morocco's football system, Algerian and North African football DNA more broadly. It creates players who are technically superior, hard to press, and tactically literate in a way the South American game sometimes doesn't account for. If Algeria take a point from Argentina, or win it, the entire tournament conversation about Africa changes. And it will not be a surprise to anyone watching carefully. But the world keeps forgetting someone. Cape Verde. Population 525,000, smaller than a major city. They qualified for a World Cup for the first time in their history ahead of Cameroon, after 7 attempts. They are one of the smallest nations ever to qualify for the World Cup. They are in Group H, with Spain, Uruguay, and Saudi Arabia. Nobody is picking them to advance, which is what they said about Senegal in 2002, DR Congo, the team that wasn't supposed to be here. They beat Nigeria in the CAF playoff semifinals. Then they beat Jamaica in the Intercontinental Final, 1-0. Extra time. Axel Tuanzebe scoring the goal that put them in a World Cup for the first time since 1974. 52 years. They face Portugal in the group stage. Few people are watching. A few should be. South Africa, the only African nation to ever host the World Cup, 2010. Their last appearance as a participant? That same year, 16 years. They opened the tournament against Mexico on June 11th. The first game, Bafana Bafana are back, and the opening day of the biggest World Cup in history belongs in part to Africa. You came here for a verdict, the Ark's call. Morocco reached the quarterfinals. A new coach, a proven system, a squad that remembers what it felt like to be 4 minutes away from a World Cup final in 2022. They play Brazil in the first game. If they win, or even draw, and this group is capable of both, they have momentum and a relatively clear path through Scotland and Haiti to the knockouts. Beyond the quarters, it depends on the draw. But they are good enough to go further. Senegal reached the last 16. They will not have it easy. France are better on paper. But on a day in June, with Mané walking out for the last time in a group game that echoes 2002, the Lions of Teranga will not go quietly. And one more thing. One African nation, not Morocco, not Senegal, will produce the shock of the tournament. The world will call it a surprise. It isn't. It has never been a surprise. Cameroon reached the quarterfinals in 1990, and the world was shocked. Senegal reached the quarterfinals in 2002, and the world was shocked. Morocco reached the semifinals in 2022, and the world was shocked. Do you see the pattern? The world keeps being surprised by Africa because it keeps choosing not to look. We are looking. And Africa, all 10 of them, are ready. We are covering every African nation through this tournament. Every group game, every knockout, every moment that matters.